Hello, welcome back. This is John. And today we're going to go over some of the important things that you need to remember before writing your essay in IELTS Writing Task 2. So let's get started with the criteria. So what are the grading criteria for IELTS Writing Task 2? So there are 4 scoring categories for IELTS in Writing Task 2 specifically. So the first one is task response, or I'd love to call this one TR. The second one is coherence and cohesion. So this is the double C. Next is the lexical resource, or LR. And next would be grammatical range and accuracy, the GRA. So whenever I refer to the speaking categories, to the criteria, I would say TR for task response, CC for number 2, LR for 3, and GRA for number 4. I'm going to explain these things in detail later on. So what are the 3 biggest mistakes that students commit when taking the IELTS writing exam, Task 2 specifically? The first one is poor time management. So how much time should you spend for task 2? Yes, so usually it's 40 minutes, but you shouldn't spend 40 minutes just writing. You should allot 40 minutes for planning, for writing, and for proofreading. Okay, so poor time management. For task 1, as you already know, you need to spend at least 20 minutes for that, or at most 20 minutes. Next would be rushing to start the task without properly reading the question. This is the tricky part because some students want to go ahead and start writing their essay without fully understanding the topic and the question. Some may understand the topic and they don't understand the question, or some understand the question, but then they don't understand the topic. Next would be the frequency of errors. What are the common errors both in Task 1 and Task 2? First one would be articles and determiners using a, an, the, or no determiners needed. And we also have here singular and plural nouns, and that includes verbs, of course. So it is important for you to go over subject-verb agreement. Even common errors like she don't instead of saying she doesn't, or she have with she has. Okay? And countable and uncountable nouns. When do you say many? When do you say much? Few and little. Things like those. Comparative adjectives, I see this one as a common error among my students when they say more taller or more bigger instead of saying much, much bigger, or way bigger, or far bigger, much better, much worse, things like those. And spelling. There are many things that students need to revise in terms of spelling. Double letters or changing Y to I, and how to write the correct plural form of some nouns. Okay, so again, poor time management. That includes rushing to start the task without properly reading the question, and frequency of errors. So here's the task sequence for IELTS essay writing for task 2. So basically the steps. The first one is, of course, to read the task at hand. Read the task. And the task contains first the topic and the question. The topic and the question. I'm going to show an example later on. Next, paraphrase or rephrase the keywords in the task instructions. Next, establish the topic and the question type. In general, there are 3 different types of questions, although to some teachers or some authors, they would say there are 5 or 6, but I found this link which actually categorizes everything into just 3 question types. Next is to plan the structure of the answer or of the essay. And of course, writing your essay, and more importantly, proofreading your answer if time permits. That's why it's important for you to allot at least 5 minutes for you to proofread your essay. Sometimes though, if you allot like 10 minutes to revise or to review or proofread your essay, some students tend to come up with a different idea and then they start erasing some of their sentences. And so, you know, they lose track of time and they end up with nothing or writing short sentences or unorganized essay. So you have to be very careful. That is part of effective time management. So going back to the criteria and the requirement, number one here is TR. So this criterion assesses how well you have focused on the topic and answered the question. This includes word count. As you know, in task 1, at least 150 words. In task 2, 250 words. You have to satisfy all the requirements of the task and cover all parts of the topic, cover all parts of the question, and develop your main points. I'm going to show some samples for this one later on. Next would be CNC, or coherence and cohesion. The sequence information and ideas. The sequence of information and ideas has to be logical. The range of cohesive devices, but it says here appropriately. Okay, when do you use furthermore, moreover, however, on the other hand? Okay, next, use paragraphing appropriately. What is the general rule in terms of paragraphing? It says one idea is equal to one paragraph. Okay, and have a clear progression throughout the essay from the introduction to the final paragraph. And avoid unnecessary repetition of information. Of course, it is possible for you to do repetition, especially in the introduction, when you paraphrase the topic, and in the conclusion, when you paraphrase what you have introduced. Okay, the third one here is LR. Of course, in other terms, this one is your vocabulary bank. You should be able to use less common vocabulary. You should be aware of some style and collocation, avoiding errors with word choices, as well as word formation and spelling. So all of these are under lexical resource. Now, don't get the wrong idea of using too difficult words or words that you cannot define or words that you don't totally understand. So if you're not sure how to use the word, you'd better not use it. Okay? You can use other words later on in the other parts of the essay. Next, we have number 4, GRA. So this is grammar, using a mix of simple and compound and complex and compound complex sentences. Some students mistake this one as writing long sentences with plenty of commas and ellipses. Okay? Writers totally, or examiners totally hate that when there are run-on sentences. Too many commas in one sentence, like 5, 6, or 7 commas, and ellipses. The three dots, those things that you have to avoid when writing task 2. And of course, punctuation. When should you use commas, full stop or period, question marks, which is not that common, colon and semicolon. According to IELTS Advantage, this is from Chris Bell. Okay, he has his blog. He also offers some courses on how you can improve your IELTS skills. He has 5 common types of task 2 questions: opinion, agree or disagree, advantages and disadvantages, problem and solution, discussion, and two-part question. And I also found one author. I'm going to show it in the references later on. And we have here the three types of essays. And I find this very easy to understand. Okay, so first we have here opinion essay and both sides plus opinion essay. And next you have two question essay. So what are some samples? Questions that start, what is your opinion? Or do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree or disagree? And do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Things like those. So they fall in the opinion type of essay. So here's an example. Look at that. So this is the topic. It's all about computers. And here is the question. Again, topic and question. Next, we have here both sides. So some samples. This is the topic and this is the question. Discuss both sides of this argument and then give your own opinion. So both sides plus opinion. Okay. And the third type would be the two-question essay. So this includes cause and effect or problem and solution. Sometimes it may ask you to agree or whether you agree or disagree, and then you propose some solutions. It's also possible. Causes and solutions. All right. Another example. This is a topic. Alcohol abuse is becoming more and more common in many countries. And what are the questions? So you see this one, two-question essay. What are some of the problems it causes? So cause. And what are some of the possible solutions? In short, this is cause and problem and solution essay. Okay. So again, the three types are opinion, both sides plus opinion, and two-question essay. So let's start. How are you going to write the introduction, the body, and the conclusion of these different types of essays? Let's start with the opinion essay. So it says here, rephrase the question, or as we say, paraphrase, okay? The topic and the question, actually, okay? And then in the body paragraphs, you have there, for example, reasons, reason 1 and reason 2. And sometimes you may need a third reason for concession. So it's an argument against your main point. It's just that you wanted to show the opposite side before you finally conclude your essay. That's what it means with concession. Next, we have both sides plus opinion. So this essay starts with this line. This essay discusses both sides and then your opinion. Okay, so for example, this essay discusses the advantages and disadvantages of using social media, and then your opinion. What is your opinion? Okay, and then the two-question essay. First, paraphrase the question as usual. So this essay discusses what? Question 1, question 2. All right, or the causes and the effects, the problems and the solutions. So I want you to look at those. So introduction, body, introduction, body, introduction, and body. And of course, we have here the conclusion or the final paragraph. So for the opinion essay, all you have to do is restate your position and the summary of reasons. For both sides, you state your opinion, again, but just using different words, okay? Say both sides are important or have merits, and then finally, you end up with your choice. Which one is more important or which one is better? And lastly, we have two-question essay, the summary of question 1 and question 2, causes, effects, problem, solutions, and whatnot. Okay. Note, though, that these are only suggested structures. There is no standard structure as to how many opinions should you write, how many sentences or paragraphs, and how many examples. Okay, because for example, if we go back to the introduction, let's say of an opinion essay, some teachers or coaches would say 2 to 3 sentences would be enough. But in cases of both sides plus opinion or 2 question essay, I think you need 3 or 4 sentences. So there's no such thing as standard number of sentences or even standard number of paragraphs, because most teachers would suggest 3 paragraphs. Okay, so here's your essay structure. Look at this part. This is the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. The introduction starts with your general statement, which is the paraphrased topic, and your specific statement, which is the paraphrased question. And then you have here topic sentence 1 and supporting details, topic sentence 2 and supporting ideas. Okay, and conclusion, the summary of your main points in body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2, and your final statement that goes with the specific statement in the introduction. Specific statement and final statement. So for example, in the specific statement, you said, I agree with, then probably in the final statement, those are the reasons why I am in favor of, like that. So just a play of words, actually, play of words, paraphrasing. So here are the parts of your essay. As you know, we have here the topic and you have here the question. Topic and the question, and after that you start with your introduction. The introduction, you start with the general statement, which is the paraphrased topic, and the specific statement, which is the paraphrased question. Okay? So after the topic, the question, the introduction, you have here body 1, the topic sentence and supporting details. Body 2, the topic sentence and supporting details, and your final paragraph. So let's practice with the general statement. Okay, so this is the task. Okay, it is important for you to understand this so you can have the 25% of the TR, task response. Computers are being used more and more in education, and some say there will soon be no role for the teacher in education. All right, so what should you do? You paraphrase the topic. Okay, how are you going to paraphrase that? This one, are being used more and more in education. So keywords, computers, being used more and more, education. Next, Sue, no role, teacher in education. Okay, so here's a sample paraphrase. It's actually easier than what you're thinking. Look at that. Some people believe technology may be used to replace teachers in the future. Is it the same with the topic? Yes, okay. So replace teachers in the future. Okay. Now take a look at some samples of bad paraphrases. And why are they bad? Due to the rising prevalence of advanced technology, computers are becoming more useful. Well, it sounds nice, good vocabulary there, advanced technology, and then using due to plus noun. Okay, it looks nice. However, this is actually wrong. It's bad because this misstates the topic. It is not about whether computers are useful. It is about computers replacing teachers. So you see? Another example, this is too long, and I don't recommend having too long introduction. Ever since the dawn of time, mankind has been finding ways to improve their lives. More recently, education has emerged as a very important aspect of human lives. Okay, that is nice, okay? However, you can sum this up into just one sentence, talking about the value of computers or of technology in the field of teaching or in the field of education. This is very broad, important aspect of human lives. It's just broad. Next, therefore, it is worthwhile to consider whether technology offers any advantages in the classroom and whether they are more useful than the people who have trained for many years as academic experts. This is quite okay if it's just this part, therefore, until experts, this part, okay? You see, people who have trained for many years as academic experts, in short, that actually refers to teachers. Yeah, it's just a paraphrase of teachers. All right, so that's the first thing. You paraphrase the topic. And after the topic or the general statement, you have the specific statement. And this time, we focus on the question, not the topic, the question. So the question here is, to what extent do you agree or disagree? Okay. Some of my students responded saying, the advantages and disadvantages of using technology in the classroom or how technology can replace teachers. Yes, they are related. Okay. However, first, what is the question? That is part of task response. Okay. So it's not asking you to write about the advantages and disadvantages of technology or to propose solutions to this apparent problem. No, it's just asking you to what extent you agree or disagree. So do you strongly agree? Do you somewhat disagree? So that is what we call extent. So you can use these expressions to begin your essay or the specific statement. I totally agree or somewhat disagree, strongly disagree, definitely disagree, things like those. Absolutely agree, all right? So that's for specific statement. Another. So your specific statement or the paraphrased question should just be like this. I totally agree with this opinion. Oh, well, it's a good and safe choice, but it's rather short. So you can have the second one. I totally agree that what? The teachers should be replaced with computers. This is in a full sentence. And of course, it's much better if you have this. I totally agree that teachers should be replaced with computers because they are cheaper and more convenient for students. Now that you have the specific statement, that is the basis of your buddy paragraphs. So your buddy paragraph 1 will talk about this. Computers are cheaper. Only that. And your buddy paragraph 2 will talk about this. More convenient for students. Okay? So another question type. Okay? Specific statement for a non-opinion essay. So you can start with, this essay discusses what? Example of question. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of using computers in the classroom. You can simply say, this essay discusses the merits, so that's advantages, and drawbacks, disadvantages, of the use of computers in schools. So instead of classroom, you can make it a bit general, in schools. Right? So here's the sample. All right, so what are some advantages and disadvantages? Okay, look at this. This essay discusses drawbacks with the use of computers in schools and also some ways to solve them. Okay, why only drawbacks? Because it says here, What are some ways to overcome these disadvantages? Okay, so it focuses on the drawbacks or the disadvantages, not the advantages. So let's practice. If you have time, you can pause the video and you can start writing. All I want you to do is to come up with an introduction. So the introduction has the general statement and the specific statement. In other words, you have the paraphrased topic and the paraphrased question. That's it. Okay, you can pause this video and then you can start writing. You can choose. The blue one is agreeing or disagreeing essay. So this is an opinion essay. The green one is what are the reasons for this? Positive or negative development. This is a two-way question. And the purple one, to what extent do you agree or disagree? This is opinion. And then the red one, this is both views plus opinion. Okay? Just choose one, and I'm going to show some samples. Okay, are you ready? So let's start with the blue one. Look at this. Some people believe that to give opportunities to the new generation, companies should encourage high-level employees who are older than 55 to retire. Sample 1. So again, paraphrase the topic and your question. Answer the question. There is a widespread belief that modern society should replace employees who have crossed 55 years of age. So here, older than 55 to retire, but here, replace employees who have crossed 55 years of age. Although some people believe retiring people above 55 been a negative development, I, however, feel it has had a positive impact in making the organization more productive. So the person did not specifically say that she's agreeing or disagreeing, or he's agreeing or disagreeing. But through the last sentence, you can say that the person is agreeing with the topic. Sample 2. This is band 7. The soaring unemployment rate has been a huge problem for many governments nowadays, and some people suggest that senior employees over 55 should be encouraged to retire so that they can make room for young people. And then the answer to the question is, personally, I disagree with this idea. Okay? Next, let's try the green one. So this one, it has two questions, reasons and then positive or negative development. It's short, but it's tricky. Nowadays, celebrities earn more money than politicians. What are the reasons for this? Is it a positive or negative development? These days, luminaries are more profitable in comparison with political representatives. Luminaries are celebrities. Political representatives are politicians, okay, than ever before because of some reasons. That has to have S. While some people may assume such a trend is negative, I suppose it would be a desirable change. So is it answering the question? It says here, positive or negative? It says here, desirable. That is positive. Desirable, positive. Sample 2. These days, entertainers invariably earn higher wages. Higher wages here is earn more money than politicians. You see, the person didn't have to replace politicians because you can do paraphrasing in other parts of the essay. In my opinion, this is the result of technological growth in the entertainment industry, and it is a positive development because politics should not be a means to amass a fortune. So, is it a positive or negative development? It says here, positive development. So, did the person answer the question? Yes or no? Absolutely. Now, the purple one here, here's the question. Many people believe that countries should produce food for the whole population and import as little food as possible. So this is an opinion essay. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Let's look at the last sentence. In my opinion, there are several benefits why import is significant. Also, proper food needed to be imported ahead too. There are some problems with how the sentence is stated here, but somehow I understand that the person tried to answer the question. Sample 2. It says here, in my perspective or opinion, I tend to agree. So that is the extent. I just tend to agree with this statement and will elaborate below in my essay. Sample disagree. Let's look at the last sentence. This is why a country should focus more on its overall economic growth rather than using manpower and budget to become self-reliant in food, despite some people's opposing views. All right. Last, this one, both views and opinion. Type 2 essay. Some people think that it is necessary to travel abroad to learn about other countries, but others think that it is not necessary to travel abroad because all the information can be seen on TV and the internet. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Be careful, because one of my students wrote about, the advantages of learning many things online. You can learn many things through the social media and the different networks and the television, like that. However, we have to go back to the topic or to the question. What is it asking you to do? Okay, actually, it wants you to discuss both views and then your opinion. And not just that, it says here to learn about other countries. It's not about learning in general. It's not about education in general, whether traveling or learning abroad is better than learning on the internet. No, it's not about that. It's about traveling overseas to learn about those countries. While the other side says you can learn about those countries when you use the television or the internet. It's like that. Let's look at some sample responses or sample introduction. Okay? It says here, I believe that people get different experience when they visit personally. So this is pro. Okay? So I believe, this is a sign of you stating your own opinion. I believe, I think, I suppose, I strongly believe. You can use adverbs, strongly, definitely, absolutely, things like that. And next, there's something missing here though, because this person wanted to discuss both views. That is, learning about those countries when you travel and learning about those countries through social media or through the World Wide Web. But the person forgot to state the opinion, because let's go back to the question. What does it say? Discuss both views and give your own opinion. All right? So you can pause this video and copy the sample introductions. Take note that I copied these samples as they are. I did not edit or I did not modify some of the errors in grammar and some of the errors in vocabulary. Okay, but at least for you guys to have some ideas on how it goes. All right, so that's all for this time, and on our next session, we're going to talk about developing the body, okay? So now that you're able to develop your introduction, then next time, I hope that you can start writing your body paragraphs. So that's going to be in our next session. So here are some of the websites that I've used, my references, especially the 3 types of essays and the structure. That is from Mike Waddy. Okay, you can download this one on academia.edu. And also from IELTSadvantage.com, from Chris Pell. You can email him at chris@IELTSadvantage.com. And actually he offers many services. And other references, IELTSLiz.com, howtodoielts.com, testbig.com. I highly recommend this one because you can just Google the questions and you can find sample answers. So you can compare it with your answers. And lastly, IELTSmentor.com. Okay, that's all for today, and bye-bye. Till next time.